week.
Yep, another live trading session. As always, this will be recorded. We'll post it afterwards. And we come on here, every single day. It's Wednesday, May 27th. I'm doing good. How you doing, bro? How you doing? How you holding up? Middle of the week this week. Had a little position that we put out yesterday, low risk. That was a little early. We'll go over UJ. Little positions about to be going out today. The market made some serious moves overnight, which is setting up very nicely. So as always, Nick is going to get started with the dollar index with DXY, and then we can pretty much just go from there. So you can go ahead, share your screen.
Yep. You got to enable it, and then I'll get right to it.
I got you. All right, here we go. Yeah, I mean, maybe Nick can talk a little bit about some of the if you're following some of the news that's pushing the market right now. I'm not personally following it. I just saw a lot of volume came in. I just look at technically, why the market was moving. Most likely some news events that went down yesterday, fundamental reasoning.
Let's see what
we got. DXY, the mighty DXY. So this thing has just closed.
Okay.
Closed.
All right, guys. We always hop on DXY because it is the U.S. dollar index. It shows dollar strength, and it kind of gives us a pretty good understanding of what's going on in the week. Again, just to reiterate, pretty much every session, the U.S. dollar makes up for 80% of all trade, and it is considered the reserve currency of the world. So we do want to see some sort of stability, but also if you do see these giant swings, rest of the market will kind of react in such a way as well. So okay, so we're on the daily, clearly a range between 101 and 98.5. Let's drop down to the 4-hour, see what more recent price action is doing. So we're going to zoom in a little bit here. We did see this was bullish. We're getting these little channels, these little trends in this 4-hour here. We're getting a little bullish trend, a little bearish trend, a little bullish trend. Then we got more of a bullish trend here, actually on this rising wedge that had failed. So this was a reversal signal. It did fall out here, and now we're more of in a bearish trend, especially on this 4-hour. Right now, we're breaking all these minor levels, like this 99.75, right? This weekly, we had a bit of a transition here. There is a lower time frame head and shoulders. Lower highs are printing themselves, so it is, signaling that it does still have a lot of bearish movement, and especially now, this is huge momentum. It's coming back, it's testing, it's pretty much testing right at another structure level, right at 19 or 99.15, and it's looking like it's got enough momentum to make its way down to 98.5, the bottom of this range. So we are definitely more bearish on this than anything else right now. But we're just looking for confirmations, anything that may signal a reversal. But right now, definitely primarily bearish. So once we go over to these other charts, I'll kind of translate these, and you'll be able to see how U.S. dollar is affecting this pair, especially on AU. So this is AU. I'm going to jump to the daily real quick and give you guys a better outlook. All right, so primarily bearish off the bat. We can see that very strong bearish channel. Then we have this huge swift move, which is news related, but still with the sentiment. Then we have this large retracement, and this is a 4-hour bullish trend. Pretty big retracement, almost a pretty much a 100% retracement from this low from this high to this low, right? Price action came all the way back up, right to the psychological level 0.666. Let's drop to a 4 hours.
Not a number that we want to be affiliated with by any means.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, it's just coincidental. All coincidental. All right, so it actually is coming back right now. So we did see that, again, this is a 4-hour bullish trend, right? We have a ascending channel here, forming pretty good structure. We threw a fib on it from this low to this high, came back to the 50%, and then gave us, a little bit of some bullish variations. Broke minor structure levels and then continued higher. So this was a nice swing high, on USD news. So, again, if the US dollar was, depreciating, if it was falling in value, AU would then be appreciating relatively. So that's exactly what we saw. US dollar went down, AU pushed up, filled the rest of this channel, pushed up to a higher fib, -27. Then it started giving us exhaustion, right? So we got, wick to the high, a lot of exhaustion. Now, after this consolidation, it's breaking back. So let me show you after this consolidation happened. we started breaking this minor level right here. You just highlight this in blue. So it broke, literally just broke in the last 4 hours. And you know, large bearish engulfing coming back through these MAs after exhaustion off of this negative 27 fib level, and also this blue line right here. I'm going to make this a little thicker. This is that, you know, that key resistance level where, you know, it's basically a 100% retracement. So the fact that we're seeing a reversal from this area is, you know, pretty expected. But how price action reacts in this current area, you know, will kind of determine if this is going to, you know, play into a higher time frame bearish trend, or if this 4-hour bullish trend is just going to continue higher. So pretty much for us to consider shorts on this, you know, we need to see a lot happen. We need to see some significant breakage of, you know, key levels, key support levels. So we need to get down back in this area, and then we need to start seeing some lower highs with strong bearish setups. Let me get rid of this right here. Just to clear this up, let me drag this over. All right, so we want to see something like this, right? Let me get rid of this fib too, just for now. And we want to see some clear breaks of, you know, lower time frame structure. You know, potentially could be a head and shoulders in here, but if this was a left shoulder, this was the head, right shoulder would form in this area. Neckline's kind of on a slant, something like this, right? We want to see that kind of happen. This would be a pretty significant reversal signal of this, you know, of this bullish trend. And then we can start looking for, you know, bearish setups, potentially on this lower high, potentially on the break of this neckline. And then we can start targeting some, you know, higher time frame levels, like the 0.626 or the 0.603, which again would play, you know, well into this daily bearish trend. You know, that would be really nice to see this kind of flatten out, and then we start getting lower highs, and then boom, some surge of volume down to these lower levels. That would be really nice to see. But for right now, you know, again, it is super bullish. You know, that could definitely consolidate quite a bit in here. It all depends on how DXY reacts. So like if we go back to DXY for a second, you know, it is towards the bottom of this range. It is in a kind of a hot zone. You know, every time we've seen price action come into this area, you know, we do get some sort of reversal. So if we do get a swift reversal in here near this 98.5 area, we can definitely see AU push down pretty swiftly. So something to be aware of. You know, and you can see kind of how we use DXY in conjunction with like some of these other pairs, because again, you know, US dollar strength, or the US dollar index, is very relative to what we're trading. All right, let's keep going then. Onto AJ. You guys notice how similar these look? Look at this. So this is AJ, this is AU, this is AJ. So it's pretty much going to be the same analysis. I'm going to walk through it, but very, very similar. AJ actually moves a little bit more. It is, you know, JBP pairs were moved quite a bit. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. We're on the daily time frame. Super bearish off the bat. Super bearish channel. Right, I was doing some like trying to identify some retracement patterns, but that's just for my own. Don't worry about that. Just identify the trend. Super bearish. Let's drop to the 4-hour. Right, so again, super bearish, but in this 4-hour trend is bullish because it's a retracement. You know, we are making our way towards the top of this channel right now. Again, we did hit that negative 27 fib level, which is a good sign. But we also could expect some sort of reversal from this area as well. You know, it's funny, I turned off these messages, but they're still coming through. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so we did see this 4-hour trend, this 4-hour, you know, bullish trend push all the way up to this negative 27 fib level. You know, good sign. It is kind of overextended. I mean, we did see structure level form at this 38.2. An opportunity to enter long did present itself right on this morning star, and also some bullish variations in here. The conservative entry would have been on this 70.6 structure level break. Didn't retest. It kind of just blew through it and then took off. But, you know, right now, you know, we did kind of push up through the top of this channel. It's fine. We hit this fib level right at 71.65. That's good. But right now, you know, we could see a reversal. You know, again, the same setup for that head and shoulders pattern I just drew on AU is very possible here, right? For this to go bearish, we want to see a sharp push down, and followed by a lower high confirmation with, you know, tons of bearish setups. And then we would be looking to go short, you know, and then target, you know, just major support levels to 68.75. This weekly here, and also potentially down to the 67.5 area. Jesus, man, these allergies are really kicking my ass today.
Gotta get yourself some Zyrtec, bro.
Yeah, for real. I gotta get on that Zyrtec game. All right. Anyway, so this is what the path would be for us to then consider like bearish opportunities. Short trades. We want to see some sort of reversal pattern, some sort of lower highs print themselves with plenty of confirmation that will kind of add to the confidence in this trade. Because right now, nothing's really suggesting bearishness other than like a potential reversal right here. But other than that, this is super, super bullish. We found a continuation at the 38.2, which suggests this is a very strong trend. This is a very strong 4-hour bullish trend. It has a lot of momentum. This is a big confluence area as well. 38.2, it's a good fib level. We got this weekly support here. After it had broken, it's very, very strong right now. So we need to see a lot. AJ's got to prove itself for us to then consider shorts. But for right now, this is the preferred path. I mean, this would be a nice path to see, this blue path, or if it comes back down, there's a fib level in here. Look for a bounce off this structure level around 70.6, like that, and then we could just target higher. So this would actually be a new fib too. Let me get a little fib in here. So 38.2, 61.8 lines exactly with the 76. So this is our highest probability area if we see a potential reversal out of here. But I do expect a good amount of consolidation to come after this push. It's kind of overextended. It's pretty high up there. The only real movement it could go to next is the top of this channel here. So I mean, it still can move 140 pips, but we'll be watching. We're always trying to get at the highest probability trades. So this would be it there, right at the 68, or I'm sorry, 61.8, right in here. This is the area which would be the most confluence for us, the highest probability, and would give us, in fact, the safest trade. So that's where we're at on AJ currently. Let me keep moving on to EU here. Okay, let me jump time frames. We're going higher here. All right, so again, super, super bearish. It just happens to be that way this morning. Or on these pairs that I'm analyzing. They just happen to all be super bearish. So we're on the daily here. Very, very steep trend. Disregard this ripsaw crap. It's just news related. Just focus on where we are within this channel. Right now, we're coming back to a key structure level, 1.1, also psychological level, also right near this weekly, which has potential to reach right where there's 200 EMA as well. A lot of confluence. This is a big anticipation zone. So let's go ahead and drop down time frames, see what we can see. Off the bat, guys, I mean, we've been covering this, so we already know that this is ranging quite a bit, right at 1.1 and also 1.07750. Every time it kind of comes to this general area, we'll see a reversal, 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 and same goes for support, reversal, reversal, reversal. So currently we are in this little 4-hour bullish trend. Here's the supporting trend line, right? This is that supporting trend line. All right, so 4-hour trend right here, a little bit of bullishness. If we do fib this, I want to see, right, this was a 50% fib level, 200 EMA kind of carried price action, and then we saw this consolidation happen. And on a lower time frame, this is an inverse head and shoulders right here. And then it finally broke this neckline right at 1.091. So there's a potential entry in here. I mean, we did take a short off this because we did, anticipate this reversal again, as we've seen so many times. So we shorted down to here, and then it just, the momentum wasn't there, and it couldn't push through this level, this 1.09 level. And you could see the MAs kind of just held it, pushed it back up. We saw this inverse head and shoulders, and then that's exactly what happened. Surged back higher, upon USD news as well. So just like AU, if I told you guys, DXY dropped, so then AU goes up. Same goes for EU. DXY dropped, so then EU goes up as well, right? They look very, very similar. They're very correlated. So, that's exactly what we saw. Now we saw this push higher, and, we're back up to, our high at 1.1. A lot of exhaustion here, tons of exhaustion. So, even with this much volume, this much momentum, we still are getting a lot of rejection. So there's a lot of sell orders here. 1.1 is a pretty powerful level. Again, if you look left, we saw a double top reversal, and then also so many other times, tons of reversals, with tons of exhaustion as well. So, how this is going to play out is still kind of uncertain. We have I want to wait for this 4-hour to close, see how this forms. if it closes at least 50% of this wick, this could potentially be a swing high. Or if we get another wick, tweezer top kind of action and some sort of like, piercing line, bearish engulfing, something like that would be, nice to see as well. Would give us potential short opportunities. So let me go ahead and show you guys, the trade paths for this. So to go short, we want to see this.
Yeah, I'm just going to go to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, do it up. All right, so to consider short opportunities, we want to see a swing low, confirmed, lower high, and right at this 1.0955 area would be good. A lot of confirmation out of that area would give us, a pretty high probability trade. And then, as always, we're just looking to target, key support levels. So our first target would be 1.099 if we got in on this lower high, and then potentially even lower back down to the bottom of this range. So this is very, very likely. Again, it just depends on how this 4-hour reacts. If we do see, a sharp reversal from this area that we've seen so many times already. I mean, like, this one had so much momentum, it gapped lower. This one was a bearish engulfing. This one over here was another bearish engulfing. So, we'll be looking for something similar to that, something that we've seen already. But it's very possible, definitely very possible. Let's see the flip side. Where could this go if this breaks out? So again, if we look at this daily here, this is absolutely nuts. A lot of indecision on this candle. So this could, this shows, price action kind of stalling. But this wick is good. If we want to see this pull back quite a bit more before, the daily close in 7 hours. But let's go back to the 4-hour for a second. So the highest this could possibly go right now, I'm thinking is weekly. There's so many levels in here that this has to break for us to consider, long opportunities at the current level. So let's see where we could go long. Yeah, I want to see a clear, this would need to break like pretty significantly, at least like near this wick or above, pull back to a key fib level. We just fix that, pull back to a key fib level, and then we're long. Right, something like this, back into the negative 27. So let me throw a fib on this, clear this up, get rid of this. So let's see, this would be that swing high. Let's see if it came up to that area. We'd be looking for a 38.2 entry right at this 1.1 resistance level right now, but it would be turn support if we had breaking closed well above. So that would be a long opportunity in here. Get in on some bullish variations and then look to target higher towards this fib level, negative 27, just above this weekly, which could present, let's see, about a 60 pip trade. So it's not really nothing that great right now. Not too much movement on this bullish option. Definitely way more potential on this bearish option. But again, we're just gonna wait and wait for those confirmations. All right, let's keep going. I think EJ is next. Let's take a look. This one was super, super nice. This was caught in the analysis. I'll show you guys. Let me zoom out real quick. Very, very bearish on this higher time frame. So we're aware of that trend. But if we drop down to a 4-hour, we can see that we're in a short-term, bullish trend here on the 4-hour. So, right, this was that resisting trend line. We broke right through it. We found a good fib level right here. We fibbed from this low, this conviction candle, to this high. We found, good fib level right at this 50%. I would have liked to see that it pulled back to this, this 200 EMAs, or this 200 EMA right here, right at the 61.8. This was, more of a, confluence zone than the 50%. But, it still did reverse. It played out pretty nicely. So it dropped out of this rising wedge, right? Bearish engulfing, came down for the retracement, then started printing, all kinds of bullish variations. This bullish engulfing there. We got an MA cross, morning star, another bullish, engulfing, and then a, 3 in a row. So a lot of signals coming out of this area. Currently, this is up 160 pips, about 150 pips from this area. I mean, we did mark this in the analysis, about 150 pips, and it still has to go, another about another 150. So it's about halfway through right now. This is definitely the trade path. I feel like it's definitely going to come up to the top of this trend line. Definitely up to this negative 61.8. There's just so much momentum here on this 4-hour, and it would actually fill in this daily bearish trend very nicely. So the next play on this would be looking for certain reversals off of a daily lower high. Right after we get to this target, this negative 61.8. So let's go to the 4-hour again. Currently there's no entry on this. This was kind of the entry in here on this MA cross on one of these variations. But you know, right now we're just gonna have to wait. We have to wait for this to play out. You know, if it does come back, you know, I would look for like because a late entry on this, you know, we would need to see something super significant, like a double bottom. You know, just for some reason, if it came back down to test again, it'd look like this. You'd obviously look to get in on, you know, some more variations over here after this double bottom. But right now, it's definitely not looking likely. It's looking like it just has tons of momentum. It's just going to continue higher. So that's probably going to be the trade path. In which case, we'll be looking for short opportunities like this after the 61.80 is hit. Okay. So, you know, not bad so far. Definitely a good analysis. I mean, if you guys are utilizing the free analysis that we put out, you know, you would have seen this outlook, you know, a few days ago. So definitely something to be aware of. You know, we're always, you know, posting our analysis for you guys to review, to compare to your own chart. But yeah, that's EJ. So let's keep going. I got gold next. This one's interesting as we're breaking back into a range, but real quick, let's just go to the daily. Super bullish off the bat. We can see that trend pretty clearly, right? Key levels, let's see if we can identify right here at this monthly. Key level also with the 38.2, a lot of influence in this area. Very, very strong area. If we simply look left, we had, you know, multiple touches over here as resistance, finally broke through, and then again, multiple touches as support. So very, very strong area, very significant. Let's drop to a 4 hour. All right, so I was originally super long on this 4 hour trend as well, especially after this push, right? So we had all this consolidation, all this daily consolidation, you know, kind of building up for the next move, for the next surge of price action. And then we started getting that momentum, right? But it wasn't super, super powerful. Like there are some giant bullish candles in here, but nothing like super, super crazy. Like if you look over here to the left, over here, there's a lot more momentum in here than there was, you know, right here. Just by the size of the candles alone, just by, you know, analyzing just basic volume, you can see that this was a lot more of a significant move than this. So this kind of like died out. You know, we had a small push, you know, right? We did make the new highs, but then it just consolidated within this triangle, and then it kind of failed. It was just printing lower highs. We never saw this 1738 to 38 area break. You know, through this consolidation. Didn't really see that happen. That would have been really nice. You know, break up this pattern, retest as a higher low, enter on bullish, you know, confirmations and setups. Didn't present itself. We just started getting more bearish variations, and price action started melting. So not the greatest outlook. You know, definitely not what we would have preferred, but you know, we are back into this range. So, you know, I'm expecting more consolidation right in this area between 1715 and right down here 1695 area. You know, I'm expecting more consolidation definitely here. You know, but the same rules apply. You know, we're looking for this to happen again. You know, we want to see a break of 1715 followed by a lower high, retracement, confirmed higher low. I mean, and then we're entering on bullish confirmations. You know, we're still targeting 1800. You know, let me just extend this actually. It's a little easier, and I'll draw on a new trade path for you guys. All right, so 1695 is the number. 1695. All right. Okay, so new trade path, right? We want to see to go long because we are still primarily long on this, right? So we're going to see some consolidation happening here. Maybe a little bit of ripsaw, you know, right at this 200 EMA, maybe down to this 38.2 as well. But you know, nonetheless, we want to see this happen. We want to see a break of 1715, confirmed higher low. There's plenty of bullish setups. You know, those engulfing patterns. You know, those 3 in a row. They call them white soldiers or whatever. Morning stars. Tons of exhaustion off this level after it's broken. You know, we just want to see a clean transition with plenty of conviction that will give us confidence in long in this pair. So, you know, I want to see something like this, right? And then we're targeting back towards 1800. So something very similar to this. See how this broke? You know, closure above, retest, and then continuation higher. That's what we want to see, just with a little more momentum. You know, something that's got a little more volume in it. Something that's going to say, hey, this is a strong trend. These bulls are here to stay. And, you know, we're looking to surge up to this 1800 area. Absolutely. All right. So, quick recap. Covered DXY, which is looking bearish as hell. AU, AJ, EU, EJ, and gold. All right, now Angela's going to get into some more of the major pairs. So I'm going to pass this off to him, and he'll walk you guys through it.
So everybody that wants to enter in on the giveaway, just put your Discord name into the chat at this point. If you guys aren't in the Discord, I will drop the link in here so you guys can join. And as always, I'm going to pick a winner based on, whoever enters in the giveaway. $20. Popcorn is not included for you guys. That was just a gimmick. But if you want popcorn, you can take your $20 and you can go buy your popcorn. So I'm going to get in, like Nick said, to the major pairs. Everything is definitely in a pretty interesting spot. I'm going to take a look at DXY real quick. Because obviously DXY has been falling a bunch. But DXY is now coming. DXY overall is bullish. But what's interesting to me is on this monthly time frame, how we've been forming some candles, candlestick analysis. Yeah, right. No popcorn for you. Candlestick analysis. We've got a lot of exhaustion here. Last month closed doji candle. So really showing signs of reversal right now. The chart does not lie to us. Showing signs of reversal. I could see this thing pulling back pretty heavily right now. On all the way down, then we got the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, we've got bearish engulfing, very similar to UCAD right now. So that could be showing, signs of us dropping as well. Down to the daily time frame, forming these 3 consecutive lower highs. We're testing a significant level right now. If this breaks on the daily, then we are most certainly going to head. We're most certainly going to head lower if this breaks in the daily time frame. I know I've got this red zone marked like right here. I think more appropriately we can kind of move this up so it's like in the median of all these candles. We're right in an area where is very significant. The next move, the next thing that happens. So we'll see over the next day or two. Going off of that, let's go in to USEP. So if USD or if DXY does dump, then I do see USD CHF dumping as well. CHF gaining some strength here all the way up on the weekly time frame. This is what we're seeing. We've seen over the last couple of weeks, spinning top, this doji, failed bullish candle. So all showing signs of reversal. Inevitably, I think a larger move is definitely coming for us, especially we're forming like a lower high here. So I could see, us very similar to this, a lot of indecision, and then just dump, then we start to get a lot of bearish. Inevitably, we're trying to catch this large ass move right now. So we're going to wait, and see how that plays out. Down to the daily time frame, this is where obviously we see structure. And clear this up just for the moment. From our high to our low, we got our supply zone right here. We have this pullback respected 100%. This pullback respected 88.6, and then we continue to respect 88.6. So with this lower high, boom, and then now this area here. So we want to focus in. We know we're bearish. We want to focus in on this whole area. We see a lot of bearish, engulfing candles coming into the picture, right now. So like I said, we want to zoom in a little bit and take a look, closer as to what's going on in these lower time frames. On the 4-hour, we are definitely in, a bearish trend. We broke this level, made this new low, and very similar to the daily, we're consolidating. Like we talk about within these fib levels, it's not going to go just from 88.6 to 0. It's going to start to trend on these lower time frames. It's going to hit a support level, pull back, as long as we're respecting these lower highs that are subsequently forming. So this is a nice lower high that formed, moving average cross, dump through, next lower high, moving average cross, and we dump through here, pulled back again. So now we're coming back up. We're retesting this area. This is really what we want to focus on, guys. This is really what we want to focus on right now is this. This is that lower high that had just formed. We can come down now to the 1-hour time frame because we know really exactly where we're at. On this 1-hour time frame, we had a break of structure here. This was that trade that we had gotten into. We exited, right around 660. which is right around here. So we exited right here. You left like 18 pips in the table, which is fine. Then we just pulled back to this level now. We've got our trend line, right here that I just put on the chart. So we're definitely, trending potentially at like a point C right now. We don't want to get too trigger happy though. A lot of exhaustion at this level. Like obviously, a lot of rejection right here. But we can be pretty patient right now. We can be pretty patient. All we need right now is a cross of these moving averages. All of this to cross right here. That's all we need to get into a short position. So we're very clear as to where we are right now, and we're getting really exactly what we wanted. We wanted to pull back to this level. A lot of rejection like we're seeing right now. So this is definitely, I'm going to post this for the members in the premium analysis. I'm going to throw this in here for now. So that's Youssef. Again, I'm going to lower this to orange. So this means that I'm watching this very closely today, looking for entries on this. Again, Youssef, waiting for entry there. GBP USD. Let's bump up to the weekly time frame. Let's bump to the weekly time frame. So GBP USD overall on this weekly time frame is obviously bearish. Moving averages are crossed. Had this huge bearish engulfing. We're below these moving averages. Starting to pull back. Starting to pull back right now, but we're getting some rejection. So we need to just see structure a little bit more clearly. Let's get down to the daily time frame, much like we just did before. I'm just gonna delete that. Boom. And delete that. So down to this daily time frame, we were looking for that first lower high. We formed it right here, pulled back again. So this is our lower high on our daily time frame. This is the level that would need to break for daily structure to be bullish. Now, we are pulling back right now pretty significantly. This was a nice daily support level that we broke below, retested. We were taking shorts off of that, but then obviously we got out of those positions. We started to come back. Down to the 4 hour. The 4 hour time frame has actually broken bullish. So the 4 hour time frame broke structure right here, made a new high. Could we potentially make a higher low here? I don't know. We have to see, because this is when things get tricky for us. This is when we gotta know where we're at. So 4 hour broke bullish. Obviously we're descending now, so the 30 minutes bearish. Lower time frames are bearish. Daily time frame is bearish. Weekly time frame is bearish. So the 4 hour though is bullish. So we don't want to get confused with what's going on. Instead, what I really want to do is I want to look at these my daily levels. I want to look at where is a daily level of resistance, or support that I would look for a potential reversal on, despite that 4 hour trend, At the moment, we are still retesting this daily resistance, supports and resistance. We're still retesting this blue zone. So consider that, the way, as important as it is, this blue zone for us right here is still very significant, significant enough to say on this 30 minute that this 30 minute right now just broke structure. 30 minute just broke structure. Boom. Like this. But if we were to take an entry right now, it would be 100 pip stop loss, on this 4 hour time frame. There is a lot of room for this to fall, but it's not exactly the best trade. Ideally right now, what we want is a pullback. Boom, like this. Some sort of pullback. We want that next lower high. We want another lower high to form just to confirm this trend. So I'm going to be looking at this as well. GU. I'm going to be looking at this to see what's up. I'm going to move this down to this time frame. We'll throw GU in the mix in the chat. We'll see how far it falls below here before pulling back. We'll check that out. Thing. Now let's go over to NZD USD. Let's go up to the daily. Let's go up to the weekly. So the weekly time frame is bearish. You know, the weekly time frame very similar to these pullbacks right here. This reminds me exactly like this. Exactly like this pullback right here. Was it forest pattern? Boom. If we can get something similar to this, where we come up, we retest this level, and then we start to fall off, that is what I'm looking for right now because we are still bearish, you know, on this pair. On the daily time frame, we broke above this level. We got to see how today closes. We got 7 hours, 30 minutes left. You know, we got to see how today closes. This was a daily structure level for me that with that breaking, you know, the trend on the 4 hour, the daily is all bullish. It's all bullish. With that weekly sentiment in mind, pretty much, you know, how we'll be managing this is I will be looking for, I'll maintain this as like a 4 hour bullish trend, 4 hour bullish trend until we get into some sort of weekly resistance level, which for me would be up here, this supply zone. So we would look for longs into this area, very similar to how I marked yesterday. You know, we're kind of just waiting to see how this thing shakes out. If we can close today lower, like all the way down to here, I'm just going to take that off, not relevant anymore. If we can close today all the way down here, then for me, I'm just going to continue to look for shorts in this zone to drive below this area. But if we fail to close below here, then I'm going to look for long. So today is going to be a very, you know, big D day for NZD USD. Obviously, on this 30-minute time frame, we just double topped. We just double top daily time frame. Is it an evening star in the daily time frame? On this, if it closes that like lower like that, no. Just because it's gotta form a doji in between, and then the following candle, you know, has got to be, you know, cover 50% of the candle. So wouldn't be an evening star, but you know, good guess right there. And yeah, if you guys have any, you know, anything that you guys want to say, just write it in the chat. Write in the chat if you guys have any questions about how we're analyzing anything like that. If you go to lower time frame, like 1 hour, is that considered a double top? Yeah, no, this is considered a double top for sure. Right now, as you can see, this thing is pumping back into that level. This has got to test this. This has got to test this zone. So we're going to see if it can close. If it can close below here, that means that this is just testing, hasn't broken. So like I said, today is a big day for NZD USD. Correlation between AU and NU. How much weight do you put on that correlation? Honestly, like I don't even really put weight on that correlation at all. AU, NU. I try to just trade each pair separately. Like I've noticed for me, NU, UCAD, and GU correlate pretty closely, and then USEP is just kind of all over the place. Just kind of does its own thing. But I'm not trying to live and die by the correlation. I'm trying to just trade what I see out here. I don't trade AUD, NZD. So yeah, right now we're definitely breaking structure on the 30-minute. On this, you know, on the 1 hour breaking structure right now. We need to close though. This candle needs to close, and the following candle. And the following candle needs to close to confirm on the 1 hour. So yeah, you know, 4 hour, we'll see today, like I said, how things shake out, if this thing can drop lower. I'm not seeing any entries that I'm in love with right now. I do have this red line marked. This is obviously, you know, a support now turn resistance as we go down to the 4 hour. Boom. So this is that level that's being tested right now. You could say that this is a nice confirmation. This is like a confirmation, but there's really only one on this higher time frame. There's that confirmation, and then like up on this 4 hour time frame, we have this like bearish engulfing here, and then obviously this like next double top. So there's like two confirmations there. You know, if you wanted to enter in a trade, two confirmations does promote you to drop down if you're confident in that area. And then obviously we're getting this. So if we, based on that, you know, idea, if we get a pullback on this 30-minute time frame, if this confirms to break this level and then like comes down here, breaks, pulls back, gets that first lower high, you know, we could consider some shorts down into these lower zones. So we gotta just wait on this. We gotta wait on NZD USD. I'm gonna just stick really to this 4 hour for now because I'm gonna see how the next like pretty much 2 hours shake out on this before making any sort of decision. So that one just sitting on the sidelines. UCAD, UCAD's obviously been falling off. We've been following this pair fucking very closely for you guys that have been on the live sessions. I've been talking about shorting multiple times. It finally broke, below a key level. Up on this weekly time frame, what are we looking for? We're looking to retest this monthly level support for sure. We're looking to get down to that area. Based on where price is now, that's about like 120 pips away. Can you repeat where could NU drop? What NU? NU could drop back into this red zone, back into this red. It's just daily resistance now turns support. So that's where I'm looking for NU to drop into. So let's go to UCAD. Obviously, we just broke some daily structure right here. Boom, pullbacks. This was all forming daily structure, and this was a descending triangle. Descending triangle right here. Normally the bottom breaks. First thing we're looking for is the retest, and then to short. So up on the 4-hour time frame, we were considering entries here. I'm actually kind of upset that I didn't take any entries here, but it is what it is. We scoped this thing pretty well. Had a perfect transition here. We were scoping it here as well. So at this point now, we're going to look for much of the same. I can readjust my fib. I can take that off, take off this little arrow, and we can just see, what would we want to see before this thing heads lower. We either want to see a lot of consolidation here, some sort of flag or pennant or, something similar to that. So say price starts to form some sort of channel, starts to consolidate up. We're going to look for the break, there, or we get a pennant, or we get ultimately a retest all the way up here. We're really just waiting for this to happen. We're waiting for this, something similar to this. We're down at these levels, then we start to pull back. So I always use these little ghost patterns. So yeah, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for price to do something similar to this, pull back up into this area. Then I'll put my fibs on, my new fib from high to low. And then, then we got 38.2 here, 618, drag this across. Boom, right here. So we're looking to retest that. So we got multiple confirmations, in that area. If we wanted to even bring on a little bit of a trend line, see that. So we'll put those things on as things become relevant. What do you think about the market climate these days? I feel like it's going to be very wild. Yeah, I think we're the coronavirus. It's actually pretty interesting right now. You'll see it in our trades. Our stop losses are starting to get a lot smaller than before. And, at one point our stop losses for every trade was like 100 pips, which was showing the volatility of the market and, the uncertainty and like all the different swings. But now the market's actually starting to even out a little bit, starting to settle down, and we're starting to get a little bit more normal market movement, which is very positive for us as traders. So yeah, I'm just gonna unmute you, Nick, because I see you're muted.
Yep.
Yeah, so, I think that the market climate is, perfectly fine for us to take advantage of positions. Right now, I think, like I said, when things do get with a lot of volatility, you just got to widen your stops, make sure you're always risking, 1 to 2%, I saw this in a group that I'm in yesterday. Somebody was risking like a 0.02 on like a $200 account for US 30, and their account blew in like seconds. So it's like, you got to just have some humility here, realize where you're at in your own journey. I say this so many times, and even for me, this is the goals for myself. And, I think for anyone to become a professional is to realistically get funded. So to show that you can trade and manage money, over a period of time. And with that being said, then you can gain access to a fund. Then you can trade a larger amount of money, where that 1 to 2% that I'm telling you to trade, even on the $200 account, all of a sudden you prove that you can do that on that smaller account. You work up to like a 10,000 account, 25,000 account, all of a sudden when you have that with like a $200,000 account, each trade is like 1% is $2,000. Then all of a sudden your hopes and dreams come true. So you got to start small, think big. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. This is something that is a career. It can be very, very lucrative, but you have to treat it with, respect, because the potential that's there is the same way that you can be, crushed in the market for sure. So that is pretty much all the pairs I'm going to trade. We also have UJ. So I'm going to go over this. This is a lesson in and of itself, UJ. This pair, so I know that all my other pairs, UCAD, NU, GU, USEF, I'm calculating, I haven't checked on your YouTube page, but you guys have explained before. Yeah, I mean, as you can see on my screen, I have this literally on my screen right here, and I'll put this on here for every trade that I take. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can just go on there and use that. So with UJ, I actually went against my rules with UJ. UJ is the one pair that the 1 hour, I have to take entries on the 1 hour. The 30-minute fakes you out. The 30-minute is not valid on UJ, I've seen. So that being said, UJ, I was anticipating a move that was not there. And I say that because I had this arrow marked. The area with multiple confirmations on UJ is up here. We have this resistance level that is based on this level. This is a significant level for us. We have that resistance level, support, resistance here, obviously some indecision here. That level is significant. 200-day moving average, 618, a little bit higher up. There's been no daily confirmations for us at the moment. I had bumped down to the 4 hour, and I had seen the 4 hour started to make these like double tops, started to consolidate in this area, which realistically is more of a rectangle pattern than anything else. It's just consolidating in this, which is a continuation pattern, for this trend. So this 4 hour trend is bullish. 4 hour trend is definitely bullish. I was looking all the way in the 30-minute. I was trying to squeeze an entry out of this, and I was looking at the break of this right here, which is definitely a 30-minute break of structure right here. And then we were all the way down in this area, and I saw for those guys in the signals. And this is why I put this out as a 1% trade, not 2%, because the probability wasn't as high on this compared to other entries that I've taken, or like the USEF trade I put out earlier in the week. So I traded based on this, had an entry here. I was anticipating this move. I was anticipating a break lower. Obviously, that did not happen. There was no really significant break or like entry here. We just pulled back all the way up to 100% now. So I just wanted to go over this, this trade for you guys that are in the signals, why this trade was invalidated, why this trade pulled back. Quite simply, it was just too early. If I stuck on this 1 hour time frame, I could see that the 1 hour time frame, these are not entries. These are not entries, despite the 200-day being here. These are not entries because entries for me, as you guys can see, are when we pull back to lower highs. This is a low. This is a low. Moving averages haven't crossed. If anything, this would be a potential lower high. If we get something similar to this to happen, bearish engulfings through the moving averages. But we just need more to happen. We need more to happen because ultimately on the 1 hour, we haven't broken structure yet. That 30-minute isn't relevant on the 1 hour. Ideally, and I talked about this honestly on the live session on Sunday, so I just went against what I said, which happens sometimes, which is okay. I need to stick to this plan. The plan is that this needs to break. This is 1 hour structure, unless something starts to happen in this area. This is 1 hour structure. This, as we talked about, is what needs to break for us to head lower. So UJ, is continuing to be bullish. We could come up more ideally into this level up here, and then I'll look for short. So that's UJ. Just going to wait on this. I'm not taking any entries on this today or anything like that. So UCAD on the 4 hour, waiting for this pullback, waiting to come back into this area for potential shorts again. The probability is going to be very high on that. As we can see with NU, we're starting to fall off. Like we said, I could see it coming back into this area. right here, finding support, but I'm not crazy about an entry right now. And then GU, let's see GU. Yeah, GU is falling off as well, which is definitely interesting because let's bump up to GU on the daily time frame. Yeah, so we're just testing this blue zone. I am going to try to get in on an entry with GU. Hopefully we pull back. Hopefully we pull back right now and we get, some sort of lower high to form. That would be freaking more than ideal. That would be more than ideal for that to happen. And then USEF, this is like our most, ready trade. So I'm going to put these two out in premium analysis for you guys that are in premium analysis. Again, if you guys want to enter the giveaway, just drop your name in the Discord chat, and I will get a winner picked at the end of this, $20 for any of you guys to get started. We've been having this sale. We've been having this sale for quite some time. It's officially closed. All the spots were taken with everything. This is 40% off. For you guys that are still interested, I'm about to update and do a little sale just for the rest of the month. On the next 4 days, we'll take it down to like just 20% if you guys are still interested in getting involved. But other than that, it's just going to be as normal. The sales will be over. Then the next week, couple weeks, we'll continue to just have these live sessions, with you guys, which are free. And, for you guys that are inside the group, we'll be putting signals out and everything like that. So let me get all your names freaking copy here because that's pretty much all that I have for you guys today. If you have any questions, we got like 2 minutes here where we can go over something. But I think we covered a good amount.
Absolutely.
We got this guy. So yeah, we got Nick back in the live session today. Yesterday, obviously, we did something a little bit different with him not being here. So I hope you guys were okay with that. But we're going to get back at it again tomorrow, Thursday. Going to be the final live session of the week. Definitely show up. Thoughts on GJ? Let me see. I can look at GJ real quick because we did that. Thanks, Krishna. We did that yesterday. We did the breakdown on GJ. So let's bump up to, oh yeah, I did GJ though on my other chart. GJ overall definitely still bearish. Daily time frame. Let's take this off. Take this off. So we're getting a little bit of a pullback now with GJ. My Diva Star, thanks so much. Yeah, bro, I got you. No problem. Yeah, we're here. We're here to help you guys out for sure. So GJ is pulling back right now. Daily time frame. Again, we're looking for the next daily resistance level. Very minor, or actually there's a level right now. There's a level right here. I'm just going to mark this off. Boom, based on support, resistance. Boom, right here. So definitely a little daily zone that GJ is in. I'm personally not going to trade GJ, but I am going to mark this. So we should look for breaks of structure at this level, which is right now. So what I'll say with GJ is this level right here is a structure level, this random line. And what I'm going to look for with GJ is this. I'm going to look for break. This is going to be nice. Break, pull back, even very minor. And then we're going to short GJ. You guys ever consider fundamental analysis before I was in the market? I know Nick has been looking at, more fundamentals recently. I personally never look at fundamentals.
Yeah, I'm always trying to make myself aware of, the fundamentals. Right now, like we've been seeing some crazy USD movement, and that's just the market pricing in, pretty much the effects from last month, which are terrible, to be honest. That's why we saw such a drop off in US dollar strength. But yeah, we'll always consider, fundamentals. We actually, in our Discord, we put out fundamental analysis pretty much every day. But yeah, it's always good to be aware of it. Again, the way we trade, and we're not really focused on like the micro time frames, like 5-minute or 15-minute. We're not really hanging around those time frames. So when these major news events do come out, we kind of just, it kind of just fits into our trend. We always say that the news kind of just accelerates the trend, especially from the perspective that we're looking at it. And so yeah, it's always good to be aware of it because if you're not aware of a certain news event and then something comes out, high impact news, it could totally screw your trade. It could instantly hit your stop loss. you know, it's kind of just like gambling at that point. So it's always good to be aware and, you know, potentially step back on high impact news and not trade.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I say that I don't use it, but at the same time, I do come in, read our analysis that we post in here. I just want to be informed. Like Nick said, I want to be informed. I'm not making decisions based on, you know, the fundamentals, but at the same time, I do like to be informed as to what is going on. If there's something very high impact and I'm in a trade, that is when I'll be more cautious and I'll potentially, you know, exit and whatever. So something I do definitely want to be aware of for sure. So yeah, that's the conclusion of the live trading session. I'll drop the link for the recording afterwards, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow on the next session.
See you guys then.
And tomorrow we're gonna do the next session at 8 a.m. So I'll update that for everybody. All right, y'all. Have a good day.